Hello, sir.
Not yet. Not
So
yet. Not yet.
today we'll be doing some talking about some script writing, code writing. Let me say code writing, and it's called pipe. Um, it's just to make a code neater and better, like for readability and for data manipulation. But before we start, so I created this data set. I don't want to go and start uploading from Excel. So I just create this data set, student data set containing student ID, name, age, gender, and score. So then I combine them as one to a data frame. So I will run it, then we will have a look. Now it has run. So it's 15 observation with 5 variables. So you can click on it to view the data set. So it has first name and last name, age, gender, and score. So pipe, it's called pipe, PIP, pipe function. And the sign, this is the sign, that's percentage greater than percentage. That's the sign for a pipe function. And what this function helps us to do is it joins code like Word, it joins code just like the way we have written this line of code. So we can use pipe function like this. This is just for demonstration. Then we continue writing another code like perform this task, after this task, perform this task. So we'll be using pipe function to get some data out. And now, based on the data set that we have, let's say I want to filter for age that is greater than 20, or greater than 20 upward, or greater than or equal to 20, or less than. That is, I want to for my list of students, I want to see those that are older than 20, that is 21 upward. So to do that, we already know that the name of our data set is student ID. So we write the name of the data set out, then followed by the pipe function. Now we are telling the program that I want you to go to the particular data set, the student ID. Then we use the function filter age. The age is capital letter A, age greater than 20. So that's all for the code. Let me put a comment. Select students older than 20 years of age. So I run the code. So we see the output. So we can see the age, that there's no any age less than 20. So let's try put before we proceed, let me just explain a bit further. So the pipe function is like a core, that is, I want to filter this data set for age greater than 20. And if you see there, if you look at the output, we have 6 students that are older than 20. So we can still proceed and increase it and increase it. And I didn't talk about the library, and it's even wrong, maybe because I have it running already. So the library is still under tidyverse. The library is uh, load the library. That's library deploy R. We talked about it the last class for data manipulation. Let's We can read more about it in the documentation. So we run this library at first. Like I said, if you just run it for one time, it's just one time thing. It will work. Unless maybe you close the window and you're trying to work in a new environment that is not already loaded in. So the next thing you want to do now is maybe you want to select for male students only. You want to select for male students only. So let's write the comment out. Select males, male students, male students only. So we still write our data set name, students, followed by the pipe function, filter, filter, then that's gender. Now we have only select our students with that are male, and we see we have 7 of them. That is the demographics of our data is balanced. Out of 15, there are 7 males and 8 females. So this is just using pipe functions in one scenario. So we can proceed now that we have name, age, gender, score. Maybe we don't need the gender since we already filter out gender. We already know that the gender is all male. So we can add another pipe function. And this time around, we'll be using the function select after the pipe function. Select, select. And now we want to select the name, comma, select the age, comma, and their score. That is, we don't want the gender to appear since we already filter the gender out and we already know that everything is a male. So to make this code neater, I will ident it, or
So
any way
why
we
do you
want it.
indent?
Sir?
Why did you indent it? What was the purpose of that?
Yes. You see this line here, there are some cases maybe where you want to print it out, latex
Mm.
or R markdown. When that code is beyond this particular line, I don't know if it's visible. That is maybe
I
the
can see
code.
it that line.
Yes, it won't
I can
print,
see the line.
and so that won't be okay. Something like this. Let me just type something out. Now for readability, we don't have to be scrolling like this if you ident it. We just to make the code neater. So I can say enter just to make it neater so we can see everything in one block form. So we don't have to scroll. That's the purpose of identity. But there are some scenario that we need to ident. There are some scenario we have to. Let me put
So why
this.
don't you drop the pipe down with the filter?
Sir,
Why don't you drop the pipe down, the pipe function down with the filter?
you mean like this?
Yes.
Let's see if we will run. But I'm always using an act when I'm trying to ident. I it didn't run. So this pipe need to be here. So we have 3 variables now. We drop the gender. We didn't even okay. We drop the gender. let me see the first one we printed. The first one has student ID. So if it's necessary, we can add the student ID. So we try another one. Uh, let me see. Uh,
I'm trying to get something. You filter the gender out
we will filter the gender out. Yes, that's what we did. Student,
because
male
you place
student.
another pipe to it.
Huh?
Okay, the last program you run now
Yes,
does not have gender of male or female, right?
yes. I dropped it. Okay, let me explain
So,
again. So we run the first script we run was like this. It only have one pipe. That is select our data sets where gender is male. Gender is equals to male. So we run this and I said we're having student ID, name, age, gender, and code. Logically, ideally, that we already know that we filter out the male for our data set. So there's no point of adding gender in the data set because if you look under gender column, everything is male, is uniform. So then I said we drop the gender and we didn't add the student ID, but we can add it here now. Student ID, then comma. So we try to select only the variable that we needed, that is student ID, name, age, and score. We drop the gender. Or let me see another grammar I can use. Maybe we are only trying to work with these variables. We don't need
so,
the gender in our data set. So we are trying to filter out.
because of the pipe after the gender, it ignores it and do the select.
Sir?
Because of the pipe
Yes,
function after the gender, the
yes,
program runs it using the select only.
yes. It's used the select.
No problem.
And now we can assign this data set. We can call it male student. We can assign it this way. So if you look closely to the global environment part, you see we have male students, 7 observation, and 4 variables. So we have created another data set like that. That is, we extracted it from the main data set. Maybe we want to do some analytics or we want to create a chart with it. So if you look at the data set now, from the original one that is having 15 rows, 15 number of students, and here we only have male students here. So we can do the same thing easily. We can change this male, we can change it to female, and let me update this so that it won't overwrite it. So we have female student data set here, which is 8 of them. So we have created 2 data sets from the original one that we created. This female one, and we see the name Amina, Chioma, Grace, Okoro, and we see their score. Another thing we can do again with pipe function, it gives us this room to, or should I say freedom. It gives us this freedom. We can sort data sets also. We can sort it. I'll say student student data pipe function pipe and arrange. I want to sort it. Arrange. How do I want to arrange by age? Let me try that first. And now, if you have a close look, you see that it's actually descending. that is from the lowest to the highest. We have used the age to arrange it, that is like sort. We have sorted from the lowest, from the youngest to the oldest. That is from Amina Yusuf, that is 18 years of age, to John Paul, that is 23. So the default arrange, that is the default sort, is ascending. Ascending. So for us to do it descending order, we need to type it out. Sort student data by age, ascending. Then the next one I want to do is, let me just copy this. And but this time I want to use descending. Is this descending correct? Let's move on. Then I can copy this also. And this time around, I'll be adding DESC. Or for clarity, let me type it out. We know that we start with the data set we are working with, followed by the pipe function, and followed by the arrange. Then inside the arrange, because we want to sort it in descending order, so we put D, E, S, C, then open bracket, age. And now we try to compare and see the results. I run this. If you look at the first one we had, it started with Amina Yusuf, which is 18 years of age. We'll be focusing on the age because we actually use age to sort it out. So, and you see the number one index is 18, to the last one, to the 15 index is 23. But in the other one, where we use the descending, it started with 23 and ended with 18. So that's for sorting our data set, just like what we talked about in the last class. Yeah, this, let me sort it. I just sort it here now, ascending 18 to 23. And let me sort it the other way around again, 23 to 18. And there are reasons why we do this. And the reason will be meaningful when we have a reason to add to it. Like maybe we're working on a project and we need our data to be sort, or so we can have a better look of it. And the next one we can do, we can try to summarize, or we have talked about arrange. We can create a new data set from it. Let's try to create a new data set. That is a new variable, I mean. And this time around, let's see their score. Maybe uh, we find out that there was exam malpractice. There was exam malpractice. And we want to take out 20 marks, or let's say 50 marks, half mark from everybody's score. And now we want to create another variable. We call it score 2. We just give it that name, but we know that it is the score after deduction. So we can use that word instead. We can say score after deduction. And to do that, let's give it a comment. Reduce student score by 50 by 50. And now we say student data pipe function. And one thing about pipe function is it's not compulsory that there is other way we can actually write this code without using pipe, but it makes the code shorter and neater. That's one of the advantages. And we use the function mutate, uh, open bracket. The new column name that I want to give, since we know it's going to have a space within, we call it, let's give it a name. Let's just say score 2 first. Score 2 equals to now. What are we trying to do? The age, I mean the score minus 2. So
Minus 2 or
what,
minus,
sir?
you say minus 2.
Yes, minus 2. Oh,
Wait,
minus 50. Minus 50. I'm trying to pity the students. So they won't be having F in their score. So we call the data set name, followed by the pipe function. That is, go inside this data set, then the next thing to do, you can say next. You can call pipe next. After you have completed this task, then the next thing we want you to do is mutate. Mutate is trying to create another data set, another variable. Why am I saying data set? Another variable. It can be another data set actually, but this time around we are dealing with another variable. We are trying to use a current score, that is a current variable. We have score in our data set. This score, we have score, we already have it. So we want to use this score, we want to take out 50 minus 50. So be expecting jumper should be having 20 marks after we run the code. So we are saying score minus 50, then assign it to score 2. That is the new variable we want to create in our data set. So I click on run. So let's examine jumper. Where is jumper? Now I'll highlight it out. You see the initial score, it was 70. After deduction, it's now 20. And we have created this new score 2, a new variable in our data set. So let me try and save it in another column, in another data set this time around. Then let's give it a name. I need you to help me out with a name, please.
a name as in
Sir?
to assign it to.
Yes, so data set, that is the new data set. You can call it after deduction. Student, or we just say score after deduction. This can be applicable like HR people, but I've just used a student scenario. Maybe HR is calculating payroll, after tax, after this tax, after pension, it just scenario, anything can happen. So I assign it to student score after deduction. So if you take a look, if you come to our global environment, then let's examine it now. So you see, we have 6 variables now because we created another one. We have 6 of them. Before we are having 5 from the original data set. So we have used this score to create another score. And the criteria we used there was minus 50. Minus 50. Okay. Let's say now, after they pleaded, after pleading, so the principal now said that the teacher should add 30 marks to them after pleading. Uh, Open bracket score plus 30. There are actually different way we can do this. We can actually come back here inside this code and reduce this 50 by 20 since additional 30 marks was added. But maybe for readability, for someone that will be reading the data set, I will understand the whole scenario. Like, I didn't even share my camera. Like, we'll be understanding the whole process. Like, this will happen. So we leave that one. We don't tamper it. We just type out another one. And I will just copy everything instead of typing it out all over again. And this time around, I'll edit this and I'll give it after addition, and I will say score two, score two. But I want to create another score now. So that one will be score three equals which of the variables are we be using this time around, sir? Is it ordinary score or score two from here?
It's score two. It's
Sir?
score two you use. It's score two.
Score two. Thank you. So we say
Yes.
score two plus 30, 30 marks. So when we run this, so what we are doing here now is we are doing two things. We are creating a new variable and we call it score three. That is another column. We call it score three, and we are putting it in a new data set called score after addition. Sorry. So I run this, and now we have, but something didn't come out the way we planned. So we are expecting seven variables, but we got three. And let's see the reason why. Okay, good. The reason why we didn't have seven variables is because we are using student data, which was having five variables initially. So we can correct that and use this data set instead. That is score after deduction, Ctrl V. And now we are using the data set that we created from the student data set, student data. So if you run this now, you should be having, and don't forget that this score after deduction had six variables. So now the student score after the addition should be having seven variables. Now we have seven variables. So let's take a look to examine the data set. So we have score, score two, and score one. But there was an issue because the the this score two should be plus 30, which score three is supposed to be 65. So we take a look and see where the issue came from. So we use score instead of score two. You have used score. So we try to run it again and we take another close look. And this time around, we have finally write the right thing, the right code. So we have score, score two is score minus 50. Okay. Score minus 50, and score two is score three is addition of score two plus 30 marks. So that's how we arrive at 65. So the next thing we can do, and I won't be going deeper with this pipe, was this whole code, this this two code, we could have joined everything together and write it out in one line of code using pipe. But for now, I want us to get familiar with the simple way of using pipe functions. And the next thing I want us to do, let me see how we can summarize and group. Yes, summarize, summarize and group. And as we know, what we can do in summarize is, let's take a look at the data set and skull after addiction. Let's focus on skull after addiction now, since we're having more numerical values. A quick one, please. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Let's say, can you tell me the data type for age?
type or age?
Yes, the data type.
It will be
Both
numeric.
numeric.
Yes.
Are you sure, sir?
For age, age is numeric. Nice. Is it supposed to be okay? Integer. Sorry, no, no, no. Age is whole number, so it's integer.
Integer.
It's supposed to be. Yes,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
What about score 3?
Score is it has decimal places, so that's it's numeric.
Numeric, correct, sir. What about gender?
Gender is character.
Character. Good one. Thank you for your comments, which are very correct. So, summarize. Maybe you are trying to calculate the average score or by gender. Yes, average score by gender. That is, we want to see the average score, how the male and the females are doing by score. And now, let's say we are using score after addition. This grammar, my grammar is correct. Score after addition, and we are focusing on score 2 this time around because I've tampered with score 3 just to have that numeric so I can ask you that question. So I change the code and I say score 2 minus 23.9 so that the output after decimal place won't be uniform, but almostly everything almost have 21.1. But my aims was achieved. So we are trying to calculate the average score by gender. So to do that, as we know, we call out the data set, which is score underscore after addition, and followed by the pipe function, and we use the function called group by. This time around, we use the underscore while writing it. And group by, what are we grouping it by? We are grouping it by gender. So we know that the output is going to be in two variables, that is male and female. So we say group by gender. Let's run this one before we move on to the next part of the pipe. So we really did nothing really special about this because it didn't group anything. There was not any summary after it. We only use group. So it's not grouping it. And you can see the output is denoting conditional formatting. It's formatting it conditionally, putting the negative in red. I believe Shegun should have talked about this, but let me take my time. In analytics, we talk about human-centric, that is how possible, how easier, the easiest way to pass information to people. And so they won't be asking us questions. And mere looking at this, we can see the negative. We can see that in score 3, where I have some students that actually have a negative score. So we move on to area of business, followed by pipe function. And let me ident this. And we see summarize. And we can call this average. I'll use the word AVG. Average, let me give it capital letter A, AVG. Average score. Average score. So it's going to be, to calculate average score, we know that we are using mean. And we just type mean. You see, when we type it out, we have this help that is coming out, generic function for the train arithmetic mean. As we all know, we know the meaning of mean. So we type open brackets. And what are we trying to calculate this time around? Is the score, the real score, or should we say score 2 after deduction? That is score 2. So we call the variable score 2. So I select score 2 and I say remove missing values. That is okay. Let's leave this. Let's run this. Let me go further. So let's run this code, or should I? Do you understand, or should I explain further?
Go on. I understand. That's right.
Okay. So what we did here, we are using the score after addition dataset. That is after adding that uh, 30 marks. Although I've changed the settings in this code, but doesn't matter. But for demonstration purpose, so I say I wanted to group by gender. That is, it's going to put male and female separately. Then it will calculate the average score of male and average score of female. So we are using the mean function to calculate the average of score 2, and we are assigning it to another column that we call average score. So let's run this. We see the output. The male is 37.9, while the male is 20.3. So with that, we get to know that the males are performing better than the female. But this time around, we can still go back to our data set and say maybe it's because there is more female than male. So maybe we try to make justice. But does that really matter? That's for another question to figure out. So one thing we have done here is that we have put the gender, we have did a calculation, the average mark by gender. We have done it. We have looked for the average score, and we realize that the female are performing more than the male. And let's try run another one. And let's say let's say I'm trying to use either mean or max. Yes, but this time around, I will use uh, the real data set before deduction or before anything. I will use the real data set. I want to see between the male and female, who amongst them have the highest of marks. Highest of marks. Um, check highest mark by gender. By gender. So I use score data set. The student underscore pipe function, and I want it to group by still gender since we only have one categorical variables here. One categorical variable, or we have only one a binary. So if I say I want to use name, there will be an issue because there won't be differences in my data set. We still have, if you use name, we'll still be having the same thing. We'll still be having the same output because the name is not being categorized. They are all unique. They are all unique. So I say group by, or what can we do so that we won't use gender again? What can we do? What can we do? We can create, I need the idea, please. So I want to create another variable. I want to add another variable to the student data. Uh, should we say house? Like, this uh, inter-house sports. Are you with me, sir?
I get
Yes, let's
I
say
get
house. House. So if I correct, I'll be using 15. Then we'll be using three house, three house, or should we say four houses? Let's say four house. So I'll say let me start with green. So it will be at random, comma, followed by the yellow house, comma, followed by the red house, and let me add one more house. I can call this blue, blue. Now, so it will be at random. I'll just copy these two, paste it in copy this. So I can copy red and yellow. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I copy just 7 so that it will be 15. So you see this the identification I was talking about the other time. Instead of making it look longer. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's 15 because we only have 15 students. So I try to run this student data once again. Oh, I didn't add it. House. I didn't add it to the. So let's say I want it to be after student name, gender, age, then score should be after. So I run all of this now. Put no error. Okay, good. It's run. So if you look at the student data now, we have house and we have green, yellow, red, blue. So we go back to the main business. We are trying to group by house. That is which student. Maybe you want to see that uh, the students in particular house are performing well. Maybe we are trying to do correlation or make any relationship analysis. That is, the students in this particular the greenhouse is performing well in their sport activities. So you want to see how the students in greenhouse are performing academically. So let's say that's the scenario we made up. So I say group by uh, what am I grouping by now? House. Go by house and pipe, summarize, summarize, average score, average score. Three average score. Yeah, let's stick with average score. Equals mean, and we are calculating their score this time and not score after deduction. Since we are using students data, and in our student data, we only have one score. We don't have score 2 or score 3. So we say mean of score 2, score, ordinary score. Yes. So let's run this and see the output. And now if you look at the data set, we see we have four category variables in that is number of houses that we have. We have four of them. So we have for the blue 71.5 and the green 87, red 81 and yellow with 82. So we can say students in greenhouse are performing well. Maybe we have these other data we are trying to make correlation with. So I don't want us to take much of the time because this is 45 minutes on the call already, and the Google Meet is count down to 8 minutes. Any questions so far, sir?
Well, no question. It's just for me to practice it, and once I'm doing it step by step, I will understand it better.
Okay, okay. So let's do one last one for a scenario. I could have done this to an assignment, but for better understanding, I'll move on. So um, you want to do their score. Let's say we are using after addiction now, which is having negative. We want to take out students that have a negative mark so we can deal with them. When I mean deal, like not like smack them, like attend to them. Like we want to like filter them out, then we can call them, talk to them, like why this what really happen, you know? We can just have that list of students that have negative mark because we can see it that we have them in our data set. We want to filter them out now this time around. So we say that's score after addition now because I've changed the data set here. So it is score after addition that we have, which is um, select or we say students with negative score, negative score. So I've copied the name of the data set. I'll say pipe. Can you help me out, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm listening.
I mean, can you help me out? What's the line of code I will type? I'm trying to filter out for students that have low score, negative score.
Well, score after addiction pipe, you put. That means you have to pick it. What is the score that is low now? What is low?
What function will I use? I'm trying to filter out the students with a negative mark. What function am I to use? It's filter function, sir. Filter function.
If you filter,
Yes, filter.
I was thinking less than. Don't mind me. I was thinking not very right.
That's the uh, argument statement that will be that the filter function will be using. Score
Okay,
less than 0, right? To bring out the negative one. Less than 0.
okay.
Then let's run this before we write the other part. Maybe it's necessary or not. So we didn't have, but in student addition,
It's in
score
score two,
3.
score three that you
Yes,
are
yes,
supposed
score 3.
you are
So let's run it. Now we have 5 students. Maybe we don't even need their score and score 2. So we say, what's the next thing? If you don't need, you don't want this score and score 2 to be part of the data set. What's the next line of code I will write? I will type out. Hello, sir.
It should say score 2, not score. Because in score, there's no less than 0 now.
Uh, in,
Score 3.
in
Score
Scott,
2 is when you don't get to score.
okay. Let me go back to. It's in score 3 that we have a negative mark. We don't have it in score
Score 3,
2.
not score 2.
Yes, that's why I use score 3. I use score 3. That is any mark that is less than 0. Yes, yes. And I said that I don't need score and score 2. We are only focusing on score 3. How do I get rid so that when I print it out in a data set, we won't be having score and score 2? What's the next thing I will type?
You type, you put your 5 down.
Yes, after pipe, 3 minutes to go. After pipe, then what's the next thing? I can ident it. Yes, select. Very, very correct, sir. Select. Then we can type the whole variable right out, except for score and score 2, right? Okay. So I'll do smartness. So I'll just paste it, and I can take, I can add comma, and I'll delete score and score 2. So I'll assign this as repeat, or let me just put it short, repeat underscore student. I'll assign it to that. So I run this code now. So we have it, uh, it run, no error. So I'll say print rpt underscore student, print. So if I run this now, so we have 5 students and they are all males that fail. So we are able to bring out observation that all the students that fail are male. And maybe we could have used the data sets that contain the house, but because of the way the data set is being structured, so we can still have more information about that. So we have first 5 students and they are all males and they are less than or equals to 21 years of age. Any questions so far, sir?
No, no question.
All right. So I record this section. Hopefully, it comes out well. And I'll be sharing you this script for your practice. And also, I'll be sending you a task to work on.